I'm Robert P. Fitton, and this is a quick synopsis of Murder at Tolby Lake. Have you ever had a death threat or threats? I won't answer that question. Brad Davis is a brilliant genetic researcher acquired by Hamilton Fletcher to work at the college as if he were a sports superstar or a racehorse. Davis, however, is quite wild and reckless in his personal life, and death threats are as numerous as the Macintosh apples in the trees at Leo Crowley's orchard in North Hamilton. And let me tell you what everyone in Hamilton already knows. The Fletcher patriarch is not a fan of science, but he is a fan of making money. Genetic patterns can deliver great royalties. When Davis is murdered at Tolby Lake, it's discovered by Jones that his alter ego, wildlife of parties, sex, booze, and drugs, made him a slew of enemies. In fact, Hamilton Fletcher himself is a suspect because on the afternoon of the murder, Davis bloodied Hamilton Fletcher's nose at Tolby Lake. "You're a dead man, Bradley!" And poor little student Amy Pollard, found with her handgun, which just happens to be the murder weapon. Pollard, now in jail, brings in Professor Zoe Wilmot into the investigation. And Jones and Wilmot do not get along. Wilmot drives Jones crazy with her persnickety attitude. And then Arnie Dewars begins spreading rumors about Jones and Wilmot. "Hey, they're out there hot and heavy on the dates. I'm just reporting the facts." But Pollard has a huge secret, and I ain't telling what it is. Gus and Irene, the neighbors on Tolby Lake, provide not only the comic relief, but witness information about who is at the lake house. And as witnesses go, they are in more danger than they can imagine. Lark Larson's former spastic loudmouth assistant coach, Froggy Finley, wants to take over Jones's assistant coaching job from Carl. Carl is a trained athlete, and of course he's been brought to the college by Hamilton Fletcher as a favor to a friend. Carl leaves for Seattle on a summer vacation to his parents' house. Newspaper owner Tom McGill is on vacation and brings in his former boss from Philadelphia, Jerry St. Clair, to run the local newspaper, The Enterprise, until he returns. Enter Jerry St. Clair, a walking anachronism with a prehistoric brain. "I'm gonna get this byline as a scoop on page 1. Jones gets rebuffed by Wilmot when he wants to take her to the Cornucopia movie theater to see a movie. Jones, although he thinks Wilmot is a looker, he's aggravated by her antics, and now he has Jerry St. Clair, a man living and breathing, or I should say, hacking in the past, a wacko who can't keep his wise-ass mouth shut. His investigation, a dysfunctional investigation, is pure insanity. I'm getting upset even thinking about Jerry St. Clair. And then one of Pollard's advisors, Miss Mirko Brown, adds to Jones's burgeoning problems, all with Froggy, Arnie Dewars, and Jerry St. Clair in orbit around the inside of his head. Plus, Jerry is a chain smoker who drives an old red T-Bird and is constantly taking stomach medication. Jones often frequents the local Colonial House restaurant. Franny McShane, a waitress at the Colonial House, has fallen in love with Jones as soon as he drove into town. But it takes him years to realize Franny's affection, despite hints from his friends, especially Father Gallagher. The throwback Jerry St. Clair calls Franny doll. Coco becomes a suspect and is held in a cell because of his connection to Albert Fiore. Two hoods attack Coco, which allows another opportunity for Father Gallagher to demonstrate his boxing skills, breaking the man's jaw, which is highlighted on page 1 by Jerry St. Clair. Jones and the snooty Wilmot track down the time it would take to cross Tolby Lake, commit a murder, and then leave the area. Somebody is not going to like this and shows their displeasure. Over in Prince William, Jones runs into the obnoxious loudmouth, Kip Bosco. "Coachy?" Kip knows it all, yet he's always wrong. Always munching on a Big Mama's donut, the crooked vice cop presents an incompetent, bombastic performance and is, of course, on the take. His favorite expression is, "I'm gonna have to beat you up." It should be noted that George Strickland, like Jones, is one of the so-called normal people in Hamilton. So is lawyer L.G. Bentley. It is this balance between the crazies and the normal people that creates the humor. Pinky Harris, George Strickland's dorky Deputy Wendell's uncle, comes into the case via the state police. Pinky likes to throw his weight around and threaten people. We get swept into Albert Fiore's Boston crime scene in the exotic glass slipper in this book. And who killed the stripper named Desiree? I think Jones is on the right track. He locates Coco in Boston, and the idiotic Jerry St. Clair wreaks havoc in the midst of all the mafia enclaves. The access of Hamilton with the larger city of Prince William and trips to Boston works very well in the Matthias Jones series, as does occasional trips to other venues to track down murderers adds to the diversity. Well, let's wrap this up. Well, almost wrap it up. Jerry St. Clair parallels Jones into upstate New York, and at 80 plus, he swims miles across a New York lake during a violent thunderstorm and is presumed dead. There is, as in many Jones books, a great chase scene at the end. Jones's Jeep is, of course, badly damaged. Coco's uncle Dulio checks out things in Rhode Island. It is Dulio who is featured in many books. He played for Notre Dame and is truly a one-man destruction crew. In fact, Dulio himself is unbelievably indestructible, yet he's a soft-spoken good guy and a good friend of Jones. Not surprising, the suspect's background leads right toward the murderer. After a murder is solved in a Jones book, there's always an epilogue, like a tag on a TV show, sometimes at Club Max. Murder at Tolby Lake is available at Amazon in Kindle and paperback, and the audio is on iTunes and Audible.com. I'm Robert P. Fitton, and this has been a quick synopsis of Murder at Tolby Lake.